Hey guys, what's going on? This is RJ Game News USA here. I was having a good morning. I gold cupped and gold crowned 3-starred every single event in Mario Kart World, all 64 of them. So I was feeling pretty good. But then I got to like some of the news going on, and I'm like both happy and not happy, and I'm gonna explain. First, I'm sort of happy about this. The Stop Killing Games initiative. So, Stop Killing Games is a consumer movement started to challenge the legality of publishers destroying video games they have sold to customers. An increasing number of video games are sold effectively as goods with no stated expiration date, but designed to be completely unplayable as soon as support from the publisher ends. This practice is a form of planned obsolescence that is not only detrimental to customers, but makes preservation effectively impossible. Furthermore, the legality of the practice is largely untested in many countries. Now, this petition has 1.344 million signatures, which after it gets a million signatures, it actually causes the European Citizens Initiative to open. So this is something that they're seriously going to consider. And I know what y'all might be thinking, well, that's Europe. That's not the United States. If they're going to be forced to keep servers open or allow servers to be done privately in Europe, that could be accessed in the United States. So, yeah, you're right. We wouldn't see something like this happen in the United States because here in this country, we really don't give a shit about our consumers. At least in Europe, they're putting up the good fight. But I really hope this passes. I have seen way too many games where the game is online and the servers get shut down and that's a wrap. You know, I understand games get less popular over time. I understand that maintaining a server costs money. Again, it's not my problem as a consumer. As a consumer, I'm buying a product, I own a product, and essentially you're taking away my access to the product. I think the good middle ground here is, if they don't want to keep the servers open, you must allow the servers to be turned over to private individuals who would like to keep it going. Not doing so is an absolute objection to the idea of selling a product to somebody. When you sell a product to somebody, it should be yours. And too often, these video game companies do not want you to own anything. They say you will own nothing and you will like it. And to be completely honest, I have fallen into the trap now of I just buy everything digitally. That's mostly because I'm a lazy fuck that doesn't want to change out discs or cartridges. I have my Switch 2 set up where I use a Pro controller. I always keep it docked. I just boot it up from there. I don't even like undocking the Switch 2. You know, my PlayStation account, hey, they already got my debit card. I'm already signed up for their services. I might as well just buy stuff digitally, and I got the digital PS5 for cheaper. However, I'm a guy that likes options, and I would like to see options for physical games. I would like to see options for games to continue that maybe I don't give a shit about. Like, I don't care about the crew, but I care that people that did care about the crew, who've been playing the crew, who want to keep playing the crew, can't play the crew, for example. And on top of that, people that never played the crew, maybe want to play the crew, never had that opportunity. I'm just using the crew as an example. And that kind of practice is absolute bullshit. We could sit here and like pop in Super Mario Bros. From the NES into an OG NES and play it. But you can't play something that went offline. Even games come out like a year ago could go offline. You know what I mean? What about the Concord situation? At least they offered refunds. How many refunds will these companies offer years later when they shut down the servers? They won't. They already took your fucking money and at some point decided, okay, the player count's low enough, maybe we can get away with shutting off these servers. It's criminal. They stole from you. And the fact that more people don't fight against that, it's a problem. It's a serious problem. Imagine if I just walk into your house and I just take your fan, or I take your microwave, or I take your television. That's theft. Imagine if, a car you bought and you fully paid off, the dealer comes back and goes, sorry, I gotta take it back. Your model's out of date. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. We should have never let it get to this point with games. Movies, there's been a lot of pushback. I've seen some movies get pulled before, and there was a ton of pushback. And we need to have the same amount of pushback on gaming. I know there's licensing issues. I know there's issues with keeping servers open. Like I said, send it off to a private person if you have to. I just think that that's the company's problem. They're the ones making the tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars on things. They could figure it out. You as a consumer shouldn't shed a tear for these motherfuckers. They just want to take your money and run. And, anyway, so that's my thoughts on the Stop Killing Games. And one of the reasons is, check this out, Ubisoft. Ubisoft has updated its EULA. So for those of you that don't know what that is, every time you sign into a game, sometimes when they have these big-ass long paragraphs that just say pretty much you're signing your life away, you don't read it, you just click continue and go, and they know you don't read it. Well, apparently there's things in that EULA that is very concerning and just ridiculous at face value. It now states that those who own the product must destroy all copies at all costs. You and Ubisoft or its licensors may terminate this EULA at any time for any reason. This EULA will terminate automatically if you fail to comply with any of the terms and conditions of the EULA. Upon termination for any reason, you must immediately uninstall the product and destroy all copies of the product in your possession. Pause on that for a second. So in other words, when they take a game offline from the servers, they expect you, the consumer, to gladly, with a shit-eating grin, uninstall the product, pop the disc out, and destroy it immediately. This is an unhinged request. This is an absolutely unhinged request. First of all, the game can't be accessed because they already shut the servers down. So what's the point of destroying the physical copy? Number two, if you try to sell said game to a GameStop or something, they'll look at you like, well, we can't take this. The servers are offline. Unless they're really stupid. And then, so there's no way to make money off of it anyway. Plus, it's none of their goddamn business if you make money off of it, because that you're selling it secondhand. You own it. You paid for it. And, but the idea that you're going to sit there and make a fucking campfire out of your old Ubisoft games with a shitty grin on your face is absurd and laughable. And whoever wrote this is an absolute fucking retard. Continuing on. Ubisoft may modify the product for any reason without any specific reason at any time at its entire discretion, in particular for technical reasons such as updates. Ubisoft may modify the product for any reason or without any specific reason at any time at its entire discretion, in particular for technical reasons such as updates. Okay, so they're basically saying we could fuck with your game in any way, shape, or form. If we have a expiring license on a car, let's say, we could pull that, we could change that, we could update that. Basically, you're our bitch. We're going to do whatever the fuck we want, including taking the game completely offline, and there's nothing you can do about it. But, by the way, do us a favor and destroy your copy. Continuing. Additionally, you are responsible for periodically checking the EULA for changes, as it is now the consumer's responsibility to detect any unreasonable changes made by the company without notice. If for any reason you don't want to comply with the EULA, you would have to, of course, destroy all copies of the product you own. So they're saying, hey, you agreed to our EULA, but in updates, we can change it to anything we want it to, but you've already pre-agreed to any changes to our EULA. So, I mean, we could write down, we kill your firstborn child, apparently, and we're good. But, basically, you, the consumer, are responsible for going back and reading paragraph after paragraph of things that are going on. And if there was any changes to the EULA, that's on you, bud. And if you disagree with the EULA, then you must immediately destroy everything you own from Ubisoft. This is ridiculous. This should never, ever be in an EULA. EULAs need to go the fuck away for the most part. They really do. They're just really long-ass looking contracts as a way to possibly sue somebody for something. And it's ridiculous. Like, that's just not how gaming used to be. You pop in the disc, you play the fucking game. These EULAs have to go away, or at least be super, super shorter than what they are and readable. The print is so tiny on these things, you don't know what the fuck you're signing. And to be honest, I have not been playing a lot of Ubisoft games lately, because they always want you to force you to sign up for a Uplay account. And that brings up another pet peeve of mine. Any fucking company that is like, hey, we're going to have you do a secondary login if your Xbox login, your PlayStation login, your Nintendo login, or your Steam login isn't fucking good enough, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Quit making us sign up for your stupid ass fucking service or your accounts just so you could show us some emails in our spam folders. God damn. Like, we need better consumer protections on this stuff. We really, really do. Because then you have situations like this. Okay? A Nintendo Switch 2 user was temporarily banned from online services after playing a used Switch 1 game that was purchased from Facebook Marketplace. Before I continue, this is stupid. Okay, look, all these companies are guilty. Every one of them have been guilty, has sinned in varying degrees. Whether it be online check-ins, whether it be day one patches, whether it be overpriced games, whether it be predatory microtransactions. You know, there's some responsibility on the consumer for not falling for practices, but it's almost unavoidable to avoid everything I'm talking about unless you only play retro games. Because they beat you over the fucking head with it, and it's really hard to know what's what before you do it, including like the game key card situation. You gotta look on the box. Does it have a key? Is it just a download code in the box? At some point, it just gets taxing and exhausting as a gamer, and sometimes you just give in to these companies, and that's what they want you to do. They want you to tap out and submit. They want you to get to a subscription model, a model where they're making money guaranteed, where the product doesn't have to be high quality, where people aren't held accountable. They want to get rid of developers. They want to fire people. They want to do AI. They want to squeeze every last penny they can out of you in every way, shape, or form. Every little bit of screen time they can get out of you. Anything they can do to give their fucking shareholders and their executives more money and bigger bonuses. That's all they care about. And we have to have better consumer protections, because it's only going to get worse, which is why I support Stop Killing Games. Anyway, the ban to the Switch 2 user was triggered when the user downloaded game updates for the used cartridges, which had been flagged for potential piracy. Nintendo support ultimately reversed the ban after the user provided proof of purchase, demonstrating that the games were legitimately bought and not pirated copies. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Nintendo immediately flags an account. You're temporarily banned. You have to be the one that goes and proves your innocence. It is guilty until proven innocent. Thank God they at least reversed the ban. That's the least they can do. Give that person like $1,000 like credit in the eShop store. Do something to make this right, Nintendo. And you are the company that I hold in the highest regard because you don't have a lot of day one patches. You put out full games. And your first party games don't do game key cards. You can play physically off the cartridge mostly day one. It's all the third parties that are usually the problem. But the Switch 2 has a problem where they're banning users too easily. They're scared of piracy. I understand to an extent why they're scared of piracy. It's easy to pirate Nintendo shit. It always has been. But you guys make millions and millions of dollars off of games. You're doing fine. Financially, you're doing okay. There might be some slips in the cracks. There might be a little piracy going on that you could fight. But if you are actually banning users that are dedicated users that actually were going out of their way to find used Switch 1 games to go play on their Switch 2, and you're banning them and you're not compensating them for their time, effort, and energy trying to reverse the ban, you are a piece of shit just like the rest. I think that ends this video, guys. I think I've said what I needed to say. I think most of you would agree with me that the Stop Killing Games petition must pass. We must make this a law somewhere in Europe, and it will affect American games as well. But I've signed the petition as Albert Farnsworth from... No, I'm just kidding. I can't. I'm American. I can't do that. I'm just kidding. Anyway, guys, that's it for the video. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Comment down below. Let me know some experiences you've had where a game was online and a company just ganked it right off. I'm going to name a few off right here. Mario 35, so disappointed when they took that offline, never brought it back. That's one for me that really, really, really stuck out. There's been a number of shooters as well that I wanted to go back to and couldn't go back to it. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. See you later.